2 days later, after light training at dawn, Ojin arrived at the association. "So you'll be cooperating with the Valhalla Guild from now on?" Team Leader Han asked. "Yes, they'll handle most of the investigation." Han nodded with satisfaction. Things worked out well. Thanks to Ojin, the association's position had improved. Executives who once criticized Han could no longer say a word. "Oh, before I forget," Ojin said, "I'd like to request something." "I'm planning to get new equipment," Ojin said. "A custom-made silver spear, hardened with starstones, a weapon designed specifically to amplify lightning. And this," Ojin continued, "a wire-launching device, something that could bind enemies or let him move freely through the air." Han examined the design carefully. "It's unusual, but manufacturable." "The cost?" Ojin hesitated. Han waved it off. "The association will cover it." Ojin froze. His eyes widened. Overcome with emotion, Ojin grabbed Han. "We're not strangers anymore." Han stiffened in panic. "Please, calm down." One last request remained. "This one, I'll pay for it myself." Han blinked in surprise. Ojin paying out of pocket? Yes, this one mattered too much. "By the way," Han added, "the relic appraisal is done. 3-star, mana recovery enhancement." Ojin smiled inwardly. Sell it. 2 high-grade starstones followed. The total value approached nearly $2 million. Ojin clenched his fist. He was getting close. "One more favor," Ojin said. "I need the map beneath Seoul Station." Han stared at him. "Why?" "Treasure hunting." Han sighed. "I'll get it." Fresh sunlight greeted him. 3 million more. That was all he needed. 1 week later, Ojin trained relentlessly on the rooftop. His body moved in ways no normal human could replicate. Sweat rolled down his face. As he reached for his spear, light poured from the necklace. Ojin froze. He knew what it meant. The light condensed. Silver hair, radiant dress, golden eyes. Vega appeared. "I've been waiting," Ojin said. Vega crossed her arms. "You're still too formal." Ojin laughed. "Welcome back." Vega stood tall, pride shining in her eyes. "I have returned." 3 weeks after parting, their reunion was complete. "How have you been doing?" Vega asked. "Quite a lot happened," Ojin replied. He summarized the past 3 weeks, carefully, without exaggeration. Vega frowned as she listened. The Black Star organization is deeply ominous. "They may be connected to the heavenly demon," Ojin said. Vega stiffened. "You believe the heavenly owner's warden was hiding there?" "I'm not certain," he answered calmly, "but that organization is suspicious beyond reason." Vega asked if he remembered them from his previous life. "No," Ojin replied firmly. After a brief pause, he added carefully, "There were forces led by the heavenly demon. I just don't know if they were the same." Vega nodded slowly. "Are you sure you should involve yourself already?" Vega asked. "You still need time to grow." "I have a plan," Ojin replied. It wasn't true, but confidence mattered more than honesty here. Vega studied him closely. "Show me how much you've grown." Ojin nodded and raised his spear. Mana flowed smoothly. Lightning wrapped around his spear and legs at the same time. He moved. Each step carried lightning. Speed surged as power spread across multiple points instead of one. His thrust released controlled lightning forward. He adjusted instantly, minimizing openings. Vega froze. How are you controlling lightning in 3 places at once? Jin blinked. It just worked after some practice. Her disbelief deepened. You said your memories were blurry, Vega said. They are, Jin replied. Vega reached her own conclusion. You must be unconsciously recalling your past mastery. Jin said nothing. The misunderstanding benefited him. Even at the same level, Vega explained, a refined skill and a crude one are worlds apart. This stigma is nearly impossible for humans. Jin frowned internally. Why was it so easy for him? He considered possibilities. Li Xin-hyuk's memories didn't align. Talent alone didn't explain it. But answers could wait. Strength mattered more. A message arrived. Jin smiled. Let's go. To where? Vega asked. I'll show you my new weapons. At the association, Han was already waiting. Jin accepted the silver spear. Lightning flowed through it naturally. Its balance was perfect. This is excellent. Electricity moved as if the spear were part of his body. Conductivity far exceeded his old weapon. A satisfied smile formed. Next, Han said, 2 bracer-like devices rested inside the case, wire shooters, designed beyond expectations. They fit comfortably despite their weight. Han explained their operation. Jin aimed at a nearby wall and activated one. A wire embedded cleanly. Mana flowed. The wire retracted instantly. Jin stared in disbelief. This is better than I imagined. Up to 6 wires, precision craftsmanship. Vega appeared beside him. So this is the weapon you mentioned. That's not all. Jin aimed towards a distant fence. Electricity locked the wire in place. Hold tight. Vega grabbed his hair. Jin launched himself forward, releasing and re-anchoring wires in succession. They moved across rooftops freely. I can't fly yet, Jin laughed. Yet, Vega replied calmly. Jin froze. You're telling me I will fly? Vega smiled. He exhaled. Vega had returned. His equipment was complete. There was no reason to wait any longer. We're going to Seoul Station, Jin said. Beneath it, a monster slept. It was time to deal with it. Before entering Seoul Station, Jin stopped by a nearby shop to prepare for emergencies. 2 smoke screens and flares went into his belt, tools still useful when modern weapons failed against monsters. Next, he equipped knife holsters on both thighs, inserting 3 throwing knives into each. Then he grabbed an LED headlight, essential for navigating underground sewers. Finally, he reached toward the potions. 3 mid-grade potions. His hands trembled as he stared at the price tag, but he had no choice. They were necessities. At the counter, the cashier scanned everything. 2 smoke screens, flares, 6 starstone-coated knives, a headlight, and 3 potions. The total was painfully high. Jin paid after relentless bargaining, leaving the shop with lighter pockets and a bitter expression. Vega watched quietly. You should save money where you can, Jin muttered. She looked apologetic, wishing she could help. Oh, you already have, he replied with a smile. Preparation finished, Jin followed the sewer map provided by the association. His destination lay beneath Seoul Station. A foul stench assaulted him as he descended into the sewers. Even Vega frowned. Still, she chose to stay by his side. They navigated deeper through the twisting underground maze.
Ojin resisted using heightened senses. The smell alone made it unbearable. Each step stuck unpleasantly to the sewage below. Suddenly, Vega paused. She felt something, an unpleasant energy ahead. Ojin checked the map. That direction was supposed to be a dead end. Despite the map, he moved forward. Instead of concrete, a tunnel made of dark red flesh blocked the path. Ojin smiled. He had found it. Two mutated reptilians crawled out from the flesh tunnel. Their bodies resembled humans more than lizards, skin dark red instead of green. Ojin raised his spear calmly. Perfect warm-up. One charged. Ojin struck. Lightning flowed through the silver spear, surging evenly across its length. The creature convulsed before collapsing. The second reptilian froze. Fear overtook it. Then it fled back into the flesh tunnel. Vega tilted her head. "You're not chasing it?" "There's no need." Reptilians were social creatures. Scouts always returned with reinforcements. Ojin raised both arms. 6 wires shot out from each arm, anchoring into the walls. They formed a wide net across the tunnel. Ojin waited. Minutes later, the tunnel shook. Dozens of reptilians charged forward, climbing walls and floors alike. Ojin watched calmly. He crossed his arms. The wires retracted and tightened. The front reptilians tried to stop, but those behind pushed them forward. The net closed. Blue lightning surged through the wire net. The net blazed. The creatures writhed, unable to escape as the wires tightened further. Ojin observed the burning mass with a pleased smile. The trap worked perfectly. Yeah, he thought, this works really well. The wires were hardened with starstones and reinforced with mana. Reptilians had no chance of breaking them. The remaining reptilians began retreating cautiously. Those lucky enough to avoid the wires turned around and tried to escape. Suddenly, one fleeing reptilian was hurled back like a projectile. Ojin turned. A reptilian champion stepped forward, twice the size of the others, muscles swollen and dark red. It blocked the tunnel and forced the others to turn back. Under the champion's command, the reptilians regrouped. They pushed the corpses forward, using sheer numbers to force a breakthrough. The wires strained under the pressure. Ojin clicked his tongue. They won't hold much longer. He pulled mana into the wire shooter. The wires retracted, shredding the trapped bodies apart. The remaining reptilians charged. With its underlings dying, the reptilian champion stepped forward alone. It charged with its massive bone awl. "Too late," Ojin said. "You should have joined from the start." Ojin blocked the strike with his spear and spun low. His spear slammed into the champion's knee, breaking its stance. The champion staggered and swung wildly while retreating. Ojin fired a wire. The champion reacted instantly, striking the weight aside and embedding it into the flesh wall. It looked back with arrogant confidence. He drove his spear forward with full force. The spear pierced straight through the champion's eye. Blue lightning surged through the spear. The champion's body convulsed before collapsing. Ojin pulled out his spear and steadied his breathing. He knelt and harvested a starstone. It was black, a mutant starstone. "These are getting way too common," he muttered. Vega examined it carefully. She confirmed it carried the same unpleasant energy. Ojin narrowed his eyes. There's definitely a connection. He stopped overthinking, and moved on. After 30 minutes, the tunnel opened into a vast cavity. At its center was a giant mass of flesh, curled like a pupa. It slept, unmoving. Its size was around 10 meters. Pressure radiated from it. Ojin steadied his breath. He fired multiple wires into the flesh giant's body. Blood flowed, but the monster did not react. He sent blue lightning through the wires. Still no response. "So this is the sealed monster," Vega said. "The one that destroyed Seoul Station." Ojin smiled. "Yeah, but right now it's just a punching bag." He activated his stigma and charged. He stabbed, slashed, and tore through flesh relentlessly. The monster did not resist. Blood sprayed everywhere. "Oh, this is fun," he muttered. Then something changed. One of the monster's eyes opened. Ojin froze. "Wait, what?" Vega frowned. "You said it was sealed." "It is," Ojin said quickly. "It can't move." The flesh giant rose. Multiple arms burst out from its body and slammed into the walls. Ojin's expression stiffened. "Why can it move?" The giant slammed its limbs into the ground again and again. Ojin's hope shattered. Li Shin-hyuk's words replayed in his mind and collapsed. This monster had never been safely sealed. Vega looked at him with questioning eyes. Ojin swallowed. "It's fine," he said calmly. He tightened his grip on the spear. There was no escape. The giant lowered its body and charged. The ground cracked beneath its steps. Ojin raised his spear, but the impact sent him flying. He crashed across the fleshy ground, barely regaining his footing. He launched himself into the air. Twisting mid-flight, he stabbed into the giant's back. Lightning burned through flesh. The giant roared and swung wildly. Ojin barely escaped. Ojin landed on the giant's arm. He sprinted upward, his eyes locked on the black starstone embedded in its forehead. He drove his spear down with everything he had. Lightning exploded across the giant's head. The monster screamed and thrashed violently. Ojin was thrown off. Before he could recover, the giant caught him. Its grip tightened. Bones creaked under the pressure. Pain tore through his body. Lightning burst outward from Ojin's body. The grip loosened. He threw flares into the giant's face. Blinded, it hurled him away. He crashed hard into the ground. White smoke flooded the chamber. Ojin vanished inside it. He drank a potion and steadied his breath. His strength wasn't enough. He needed more power. Hidden in smoke, he grasped his spear. Mana surged. He abandoned efficiency. This would be one decisive strike. Everything into one blow. He revealed himself and charged. A wire latched onto the giant's arm. Using its momentum, Ojin was flung upward. He slid between its legs and shot towards its back. He stabbed deep into the giant's nape. Lightning compressed beyond its limits. Mana detonated at the tip of the spear. The flesh exploded. Ojin felt the breakthrough. The giant screamed, but it didn't fall. Instead, it went berserk. It sprinted wildly, smashing through tunnels. Ojin stabbed his knife into its body to hold on. If he fell, he would die. The giant didn't run forward. It ran upward. The ceiling tore apart. Light poured in. The monster burst into open air. Screams erupted. People fled in terror. In the heart of Seoul Station, the flesh giant appeared, with Ojin still on his back. Ojin kicked off the giant's arm and cut the wire connecting him to it. He twisted mid-air, eyes scanning the chaos below. A child fell to the ground, pushed aside by the fleeing crowd. Before the strike could fall, a wire pierced straight through the reptilian's forehead. Ojin landed in front of the child, lightning flickering around him. Run, now. Ojin sprinted forward and fired his remaining wires. It smashed into nearby buildings, clutching the wound on its nape. Then it locked eyes with him. Ojin exhaled slowly. The chance to finish it earlier was gone. Vega rushed to his side, worry clear on her face. She offered her blessing. Ojin shook his head. I'm fine. This wasn't bravado. He could feel it. The flesh giant charged. Ojin ran straight toward it. Arms slammed down around him, each strike grazing closer than the last. Pain spread through his body, but he didn't slow. Fear tried to creep in, but excitement drowned it out. His senses sharpened. Movements he couldn't follow before became clear. His footing stabilized. This battlefield was his. Ojin stopped dodging. He swung his spear. Lightning exploded at the tip. One of the giant's arms shattered completely. This is just the beginning. Lightning charges erupted one after another. The giant staggered backward, unable to endure the barrage. Ojin pressed forward relentlessly. His mana surged instead of draining. The giant tried to retreat. Ojin spread his arms and fired wires into broken buildings. Debris wrapped around the giant's body. He crossed his arms. All of it. Lightning surged through every wire at once. The explosion engulfed the giant completely. Its massive body collapsed onto the ground. Silence followed. Then cheers erupted. People stared in disbelief, then applause followed. The calamity was gone. Vega rushed to his side, worry clear on her face. Ojin smiled and raised his thumb. I said I'd handle it. Crowds surrounded him. Questions flew from every direction. A reporter stepped forward and asked his affiliation. Ojin smiled warmly. I'm from the association. Vega stepped forward proudly, hands on her hips. She declared him the hero who saved them all. Ojin's unease rose. Then Vega spoke again. She welcomed gratitude in the form of money. Wallets opened hesitantly. Bills were placed into Vega's hands. She turned and proudly handed them to Ojin.
The day after the Seoul Station incident, Ojin finished his early training and headed toward the association. The atmosphere around the building felt heavier than usual. Inside Team Leader Han's office, Han smiled despite the fatigue clearly visible on his face. Yesterday caused quite an upheaval. Han explained that the internet was overflowing with stories about Ojin. 16 guilds had already contacted the association, and several had even sent donations. Ojin listened calmly. Han's expression grew more composed. The fact that you're a North Star's apostle has spread. Ojin nodded. He had expected this much. Hiding his status was only a temporary measure anyway. As Vega's sole apostle, he no longer needed to yield. Han hesitated, then mentioned the rumors. Reports claimed Ojin demanded money from the people he saved. Ojin froze. Han burst into laughter instead. The article had painted Ojin as a cold but kind hero. His popularity had skyrocketed overnight. The story described him as aloof, blunt, yet secretly compassionate. Ojin realized how easily narratives were twisted. Changing the topic, Ojin placed several black starstones on the table. These are from the flesh giant and the mutants. Han explained that mutant starstones had flooded the market recently. Their value had dropped sharply due to increased supply. Even so, the two largest starstones stood out. Han estimated the total value at around $4 million. Ojin requested a
quick sale. If necessary, he proposed receiving 3 million in advance. Han was stunned. Offering up a potential loss so casually didn't suit Ojin's reputation at all. After a moment, Han agreed. The transfer would be completed by the next afternoon. Then Han presented a long, luxurious black case. It contained the item Ojin had requested earlier. The price was high, but Han offered to deduct it from the remaining profits. After a brief pause, Ojin accepted. Han handed him another item, an Association Special Officer license. Special officers were granted exceptional authority. Receiving one so early was highly unusual. After a brief farewell, Ojin exited the building. Sunlight poured down as he checked his phone. $7 million. With the pending transfer, the total would reach 10 million. He had reached his goal. The amount he had been chasing was finally complete. Only one step remained, toward paradise.
Cold air seeped in through the window. Song-Hyun shivered beneath her blanket, curling up on the bed. She turned on the latest news without looking at the screen. The broadcast immediately mentioned Awakener Ojin. Every report praised him, a new hero, the Lightning Wolf. Hearing his name on the news felt unreal. She had expected it, but it still felt distant. She switched videos. This time, the topic was the upcoming Yongsan auction. Among the relics, one name froze her expression, the dragon's cursed eye. Her hands trembled. Memories surfaced uninvited. A voice spoke from beside her. Hyun screamed and jolted upright. Vega had remained behind. Ojin had left the pendant. The two faced each other in silence. It was their first private conversation. Vega asked about Ojin's obsession with money. Hyun didn't answer immediately. She already knew the reason. She had heard it directly from him. Paradise, the Ganghwa Island Special Autonomous Zone. A place without monsters, without hunger, without fear. Rich entrepreneurs, celebrities, top awakeners all dreamed of entering paradise. Ojin was saving $10 million just to buy the right to live there. Hyun spoke of his childhood dream to never be sick, never be cold, never be hungry. The orphanage director, the abuse, the fear. At some point, Ojin took the beatings instead of her. She was relieved and ashamed. She cried while admitting it. She knew he did it for her. His wish was simple, to live without lying, without suffering. Ojin would go to paradise and leave her behind. She couldn't follow him. She couldn't even pass the entry tests. Blindness, lost mana, a broken body. Barbatos, the 1,000-cursed dragon, the one who ruined her life. She spoke of a promise made 5 years ago, one born of fear and loneliness. She had asked him to stay until he earned $10 million. She called it a curse, her curse. Now she bowed before Vega, not with pride, but with desperation. Vega didn't understand. If this was Ojin's wish, why had his eyes been filled with despair?
Hyun stretched for the first time in a while. Ojin and Vega had already left. She fitted on her prosthetic leg. The rough texture pressed painfully against her knee. It was cheap, uncomfortable, and familiar.
She put on a turtleneck and jeans, unable to tell if the colors matched. After a brief sigh, she stopped worrying and threw on a coat. Grabbing her cane, she stepped outside. Using sound, smell, and instinct, she navigated the streets alone. For the first time in years, she was outside without Ojin. It felt strange, but freeing. Her excitement betrayed her. She walked straight into a tree trunk and groaned in pain. She laughed it off and kept going. At the bank, Haeyoon handed over her card and ID. She requested to withdraw all she had saved. The teller read out the amount, a little over $300,000. It wasn't a small sum, but it wasn't nearly enough. Her last string of hope felt painfully thin. Haeyoon headed home with the money transferred. Enough for one last memory, nothing more. As she neared home, someone grabbed her shoulders in panic. Ojin's voice trembled as he demanded where she had gone. Haeyoon laughed and looked up at him. Then, without warning, she asked him on a date. She dragged him into a department store and ordered the staff to dress him properly. Expensive clothes piled up without hesitation. When he stepped out of the fitting room, even the staff stared. He looked like a completely different person. Haeyoon paid without flinching. Ojin protested, but she refused to back down. For today, she decided everything. They argued over food before settling on snow crab instead of beef. Despite hating seafood, she insisted. She let him remove the crab meat and feed her. She smiled like a child, savoring the moment. Excited voices rang out nearby. Fans recognized Ojin immediately.
When they shoved a pen into his hand and pointed at a spot far too close for comfort, even Ojin's iron control over his expressions cracked. A presence, like a red-haired predator, entered the scene. The air instantly turned sharp. The killing intent filled the cafe. The women instinctively froze as Hearn's overwhelming aura washed over them. Their excitement turned into fear in a heartbeat. I'm his girlfriend. Hearn wrapped an arm around Ojin's neck and smiled dangerously. Her declaration hit harder than any threat. The women sized her up and lost instantly. They fled the cafe without another word. Hearn laughed in satisfaction, arms crossed. Ojin sighed, rubbing his neck where she had grabbed him. He admitted she handled it well. She teased him for being too popular for his own good. Deciding to avoid crowds, they headed somewhere private. Karaoke became the perfect escape. Hearn sang loudly and freely. Ojin watched with quiet amusement. They walked shoulder to shoulder in silence. The hush wasn't awkward, it was comforting. Hearn finally broke the silence. She asked how much he had saved. Ojin answered calmly. He had saved all 10 million. Her heart sank. The end was no longer distant, it was close. She asked if he was truly going. He answered without hesitation. The words, "Don't go," clawed at her throat. She forced them back down. "Don't forget me," he told her he wouldn't. The next morning, Ojin left early for business at the bank. Hearn was left alone once more. The news mentioned the Young Sun auction. One relic caught her attention, the dragon's cursed eye. The name alone made her hands tremble, a relic that could dispel even a dragon's curse.
Millions she didn't have, a miracle she shouldn't believe in. But hope whispered anyway. What if? She stood up. If nothing else, she would see it with her own ears. Cold water, cane in hand, a racing heart. Each tap of her cane felt lighter than usual. Her grip on her bank card tightened.
Yongsan Auction House, the largest auction venue in Korea where even foreign participants gathered each month for relics of staggering value. Hyun exhaled softly, steadying her breath as she stepped inside with her cane. At the counter, an employee noticed her cane in her hand. After a brief pause, they offered to fill out the documents on her behalf. Hyun accepted quietly, receiving her waiting number. 2 long hours passed. Her patience wore thin as murmurs filled the air. Admission began. The crowd surged ahead, bumping into her from every side. She endured it, gripping her cane tighter. As she asked for directions to seat P17, whispers followed her steps. Ridicule, pity, discomfort pressed against her chest. The auction began. The first relics, 4-star, then 5-star, sold at prices far beyond her reach. A single 4-star relic sold for more than everything she owned. Her fleeting hope wavered, but didn't disappear. The atmosphere shifted. The real auction began. The name echoed across the hall. Dragon's Cursed Eye, a 6-star relic capable of dispelling all curses. The starting bid rang out. She raised her hand instantly. Laughter followed her bid. Mockery cut deeper than words. The bids soared. 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. Her hope shattered piece by piece. The relic drifted farther away with every number called. She bit her lip until it bled. Just once she had wished for a miracle. A voice slithered into her ears. Choi Jong-chul of the Starlight Lake Guild. An offer. $6 million, 5 years of ownership disguised as friendship. Disgust crawled through her veins, but hope whispered louder. She forced her mouth open, ready to sacrifice herself. The doors exploded open. Gasps filled the hall. A special officer had entered. Murmurs spread like wildfire. 2 massive trunks slammed onto the ground. Cash spilled out in overwhelming amounts. The sound of footsteps reached her ears. Familiar, impossible. A calm, sunken voice echoed across the silent auction hall. The air itself seemed to freeze.
For a brief moment, the auction house fell into absolute silence. The auctioneer hurriedly announced the buyout, ending the auction, the Dragon's Cursed Eye. Ojin stepped onto the stage and picked up the relic. An azure crystal, small and radiant, rested quietly in his hand. He turned his gaze toward Heun. He walked down slowly, stopping beside the man next to her. Ojin's eyes dropped to the hand resting on Heun's thigh. "Remove it." His voice was calm, cold, and final. The man recoiled instinctively. Ojin raised his association's special officer license. The man's arrogance faded as recognition dawned. Realization struck. The lightning wolf, the North Star's apostle. The man dropped to his knees and begged for forgiveness. Ojin said flatly. Get lost. The man left without another word. After the commotion settled, Ojin placed a hand on Haeun's shoulder. Let's go. He led her out before she could protest. They arrived at the rooftop garden. Cold night air brushed past them, and the city lights stretched endlessly below. Haeun demanded answers. Why he spent the money, why he abandoned paradise. Stay still, he said softly. He raised the relic toward her eye. Warm light spread. Darkness inside her vision began to dissolve. Pain surged, then faded. The endless night shattered. Light flooded in. The city sparkled like a galaxy beneath the night sky. She could see. For the first time in 5 years, she saw him, his face, his smile. There's one more thing, he said. He opened a black case. Inside was a perfectly crafted prosthetic leg, almost indistinguishable from a real one. He carefully replaced her old prosthetic. The new one fit naturally, warmly. She moved. It felt real, too real. Tears streamed down her face, not from joy, but rage. She screamed at him for wasting everything he had saved. She accused him of throwing away paradise, of breaking his promise. Oh, that? He laughed, just like he had years ago. The same laugh, the same boy.